I will say this. I need someone to stimulate me intellectually.
Yeah.
It does something different. Like it's not about what you can do and how much money. It's not about all of that. Although great, that's a perk, right?
Yeah.
But like the way that you stimulate my mind, that's the only way you're gonna get to these draws.
Tell us about a moment where you wish you would have said something and you didn't. There's nothing better than this. Say what you mean. 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 Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Aida Rodriguez, and welcome to another episode of Say What You Mean, where people stop by to say those things that they wish they would have said and didn't, and now you get to hear it first. On to this episode, which I'm really excited about because, you know, I love to uplift women, especially those who claim their children in public. Being a comedian and being an actress and being here as long as I've been here, I've been around actors who don't say they have children. And I just love to hear it. She's an actor, she's an entrepreneur, she's a mom, and she is Apryl Jones. You might have seen her you're gonna see her on Papa's House on CBS, Tyler Perry's The Oval, and in the movie The Comeback. Welcome.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
I'm glad you're here.
Me too.
I'll say this is a weird compliment because I've had it before from some people, but
Yeah.
you know, on camera, people look attractive, but in person, you're really striking.
Oh, thank you.
And so I
you. I
think that I've heard that before, especially when people say to me like, you look better without makeup, or say stuff like that. I wouldn't say, you know, I just want to say that you're really striking in person.
Thank you. As are you.
And I like to give the flowers to people as I see that they deserve them. I think women should celebrate
Me
each other.
too. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. And I
Yeah.
receive that.
How are you feeling?
I feel wonderful.
Yeah, what's going on with you?
You know, just working and blessed to be alive and breathing. So gratitude. Thank you, God. Yeah, I'm in a good space in my life. Very peaceful.
Yeah.
Happy to be going home this Christmas.
Where's home?
Chicago.
Oh, you're in Chicago.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go back to
That tracks. That tracks. The
Yeah, so-
Chicagoans like to look nice. They show
not
up.
LA people. Look.
No, LA people got the jeans, sexy top, and heels down packed. But when it comes to like fashion and you go to New York, you go to Chicago, San Francisco.
Yeah.
So how is it being from Chicago in LA?
This is home for me. I've been here since 2012.
Okay.
So now when I go back home, I'm like, I need to go back home, which is here. It's so cold.
Yeah,
I love Chicago. I think it's a beautiful city. And honestly, if the weather was like here, I would want to be out there. But yeah, it's always nice.
So did you see Love Jones?
I did.
So when you saw Love Jones, did that feel like Chicago to you?
Parts of it, but
Yeah.
not. I mean, parts of that feel like more like New York.
Yeah, I
Does
was
that-
asked. Yeah.
Do you feel like it feels like more like New York or?
Yeah, it had a New York vibe to it for sure.
Yeah.
But that's why I always ask, like when I see people, because I grew up between Miami and New York, but Miami is really home base. So when people like I see Miami on screen, I'm like, that's not Miami.
Yeah, that felt like New York to me.
Yeah. What feels like Chicago to you?
Chicago.
Yeah. have you ever? Do you watch The Chi? Does that feel like Chicago to you?
I mean, yeah, like,
Yeah.
down in the South Side parts. Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if it resonates. I don't know if I've really watched anything that resonates. Because, I mean, I do see the South Side, but like the beautiful, I don't know. I would have to think about that.
I got it. I always think about what Lisa Ray when I think about Chicago, right?
Yeah.
What's exciting right now? What's happening in your life that's super exciting?
That's
that makes
super
you,
exciting. Work.
Yeah.
This acting stuff is fairly like new, I would say. And I'm just grateful to be in a place and position where I'm being recognized for being an actress and stepping outside of, when I came here, music was the thing that I wanted to do.
Okay. I didn't know
And
that.
so now acting is something that like I just kind of like dived into and stuff is happening.
Nice.
So like I just did a film with Wendy Raquel Robinson where I was
love
the
her.
lead in her film and Who's Cheating Who BET Plus.
Congratulations.
But thank you. But to grow up watching her and then being a student and receiving her lessons
Did she
on.
direct the movie? Oh,
Yes.
nice. I
And
love
that
her.
was, I mean, I grew up watching Steve Harvey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is somebody that I admired and I thought
Yeah, me too.
like just was dope on screen as a woman, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so to study her
Yeah.
and have her just kind of give me the tools and the gems, I was so grateful. And it just continuously is happening where like I'm elevating in my career. And I think that this is just a really special time for me.
Okay, so you're excited about acting. Yeah,
Yeah.
Wendy had to be or has to be one of the hardest working people.
Yes.
I mean, I remember The Game. Like
Yeah.
she's always working, and she's always giving people good energy. Like every time I've
So
been around
good.
her, it's always been. I always feel like yes, this
Yeah.
woman is
It's love.
special. She is love.
Yeah, she always called me her butterfly.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That's
I love
beautiful.
that. Yeah.
How is it navigating single motherhood with all of this stuff and all this work?
Well, it's been easier now because my best friend just moved here from
Oh,
Chicago.
that's lovely.
So I'm giving her an opportunity to kind of chase her dreams. I'm extending myself in that way, but it also helps me because now she helps me with my kids. So
Oh, that's
me and
beautiful.
dad do 1 week on, 1 week off, which is great. So, you know, when I'm traveling, I can kind of shift my schedule a bit, but if I can't, now she's here. So
Oh, that's great. It's always good
just-
to have like family around the kids than a
Yeah.
stranger.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's a good thing for your children to see mommy working and mommy
Yeah.
is chasing her dreams because that inspires the children to go out and do
Yeah.
the same.
but there's always still that level of guilt of like, oh, okay, I got to get home, or like, you know, they miss you so much.
Yeah.
And like, I'm a stickler about being a mom. Like, when it is my time, I want my time with my kids,
Right,
you know? And so, like, my daughter and my son will be like, oh, it's okay. But I know they're so sad. And it's like that level of guilt that you feel of like, okay, I got to show up for you like extra, like, or ask the dad for more time. Like, can I just impede on your time? Like, can I get 2 of your days? Like, but
Sweet.
yeah.
But when you watch them eat breakfast, do you still feel guilty? No, 'cause they eat, right? Or when you put
No,
on
'cause
their
I put
clothes,
that food on that table.
yeah, you put their
Yeah.
clothes on, or when you pay your bills. I mean, I feel like women always have this extra layer of responsibility when it comes to being a parent.
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes that feels unfair because I know a lot of men who work and I don't see them feel that guilty. I know some,
Yeah.
but most of them are like, I gotta go get it. I gotta go get these donuts. These kids
Yeah.
gotta eat. So I think that when moms have to give themselves grace for being breadwinners because
do.
we don't have choices. We have to do it.
But it's innate though, because I
Yeah.
mean, we carry these babies.
I
So there's a
know.
level of connectivity that we have with our children that's just innate, whereas a father is just definitely a lot more detached.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it just is the way that it is. But like I've definitely gotten to a better space in my life where I'm like, April, girl, live your best life because you done raised these kids up and they're amazing kids
Yeah.
and you deserve to have a level of grace extended to yourself. So I try to be more kind to myself too these days. So
It's important.
it is.
Can you think of a time where you wish you would have said something and you didn't?
You know, I'm pretty vocal.
Okay.
I'm a vocal person. If I feel a way, my friends, everybody knows that I'm going to speak up. But I would say publicly, I have had to protect people. I've had to protect my kids. And so I think that there's some instances that if I would say that like I wanted to speak up, it would just be publicly. And it's a few times. I don't want to go into like the actual times, but like publicly, I wish that I would have did myself a service and spoken up, you know. But I think at that time it was so much personally happening with me that it felt like doing that could have created more chaos in my world. So
Oh, I understand.
yeah.
So if you can pick something that's lighter, it doesn't have to
Okay.
be intense. But I always tell people, look into the camera. What would you say if you had an opportunity to somebody who wronged you or somebody who showed you love? Like what? And you wish you would have just said that thing and you didn't say it. You can say it now.
You know, I'm such a peaceful person. I would say this to any person that has ever done me wrong, I forgive you. Because I know that we're human and I've made mistakes and I have had people that have extended a level of grace to me when I have made mistakes and have set me free. And I think I'm in a space in my life where if you have done me wrong or if you're carrying any sort of, burden from a mistake that you have done to me, just know that I am releasing you of that and that you are free to be great and that I hold no grudge and that there's always love. There's always space that I will hold for you. And I'm just a phone call away. But also just be accountable. Like, I think that it doesn't matter how much time has gone by. It's just about showing up and taking the accountability period in life so that you can really set yourself free. I do believe in that.
That's evolution. I love it. Because I'll be like, you, the horse you rode on, your mama and them. I'm working on the dog and the cat gets it too. I ain't even told you I was allergic to cats. With that dingy ass cat in your kitchen. I'm becoming a better person. But these are the reasons why I have to be around these people so that I can grow as a human being. Luckily, I have comedy as an outlet where I can let some of this out. All right, so this next segment is called Shoulda Kept That.
Okay.
And so I'll share a story with you.
Okay.
And then you'll say, do you think they should have kept it, or what your take is on the story. So someone wrote in, I've been taking Spanish for 14 years. So I was more than happy to go to Mexico for spring break with my friends and to be the translator. When we got there, I secured a taxi to the hotel, and about 45 minutes into the ride, I started to get concerned because I thought the hotel was way closer. The taxi driver pulled up to a super sketch area. Come to find out, instead of asking him to take us to the hotel with the dragon, I asked him to take us to the hotel with the drogas, which means drugs. Next time, I will just use Google Translate. How do you feel about that? I
think that's funny.
I think it's hysterical. But because I'm bilingual, I've been in the presence of someone who didn't know I was bilingual, and then they were like, "I got it."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Bitch, I speak Spanish."
But they said for 14 years they had studied.
That. So
I'm a little concerned.
That's
14
years
really
and
you
funny.
still telling me to go to the drug house? Like, I don't know. Friend.
I didn't even think about that. That's a really good point. 14 years.
What studying you been doing?
I would love to hear their English. Oh my goodness, this is hysterical. So you should have kept that because you could have put especially in Mexico, you could have put people get killed rolling up to the.
You gotta be careful.
Mm-hmm. Everywhere, not just Mexico. Let me even put that on Mexico. That shit happens in California.
But 14 years would have gave me, if I was with a friend that was 14 years learning language, I'm gonna trust my friend. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm gonna need you, sir or ma'am, to make sure you won't point next time or you get folk killed.
And where have you been studying? Like, who is this? If it's an app, delete it. All right, so in our next segment, it's called Say It With Your Chest.
Okay.
And this is when we get to know you a little bit better. All right, so smash or pass, group birthday dinners.
Group birthday dinners? Ooh, at this point in my life, I pass.
Same. Especially when they pull out a calculator when the bill comes.
Girl, I eat alone.
I know. Motherfuckers turn into a mathematician when that bill comes.
I'm like, just half, just split it.
I know. Would you rather online shopping or going directly to the stores?
Well, I'm going to say online, but I don't like shopping either way. Mm-hmm. And then when I'm online, I have to return because my body is built a little strange. Mm-hmm. So I prefer just to not shop. I'm at this point where I want to be a minimalist. I want to get rid of Can I cuss?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Girl, yes.
Okay.
How old were you when you had your first fight?
At 34 years old, believe it or not, and I am 37.
34?
I whooped my friend's
You won?
I whooped her. Let me tell you something. I didn't think I was gonna be able to fight because have you ever had those dreams where you can't land that punch?
Yeah.
So any time, like I always envisioned that my fight would be that way, that I would fight somebody and I would lose. Mm-hmm. And we end up getting into it, and I was like, "Oh, balls to the wall! I'm about to whoop your the best that I can." But I knew I was gonna get beat up. Mm-hmm. I just knew it. I was like, "Okay, April, you gotta be prepared for this."
And you didn't.
Oh, I whooped her. And I was like praying to God, like, please, like, because I had so much more strength in me than I thought. I said, this is why you don't want me fighting. And I was holding my friend down, like, I'm your friend. I'm your friend. And she was just like, and I was like, oh my God, like, just get up. I'm your friend. She was drunk.
Oh, yeah.
So I said, listen, in order for us to continue on, you got to find some healing within yourself. So she went to a healer, girl.
I
But
love
that was 3 years ago.
You know, it's funny. I know someone had a really long comment when we had another guest on. Weezy was
Yeah.
on, and she was talking about fighting, and they were like, "This is disgusting. Listening to women talking about fighting and blah blah blah, and you're perpetuating this. These are young people watching." I'm a very big advocate of peace and being diplomatic and trying to handle things. But there is a time to fight. There is nothing that has ever been accomplished in the world without revolution. Slavery was ended because of fighting. America got its independence through fighting. So this whole idea that we have to be just above the fray. Sometimes people, you know,
Well,
sometimes you got to shake a up.
Well, my thing is I've always been about defending oneself. Like, don't go out there picking no fights, of course.
right.
But if someone's putting my friend,
Yeah.
she kept doing this.
Oh no,
I
that's
said,
it. That's
and
him.
listen, I would tell my daughter, I would tell my son, if somebody is touching you, you whip their ass. I'm that parent. I don't care what nobody say, perpetuate fight or not. If they don't whip their ass, I'm whooping their ass. Like
that's old
I
school.
was raised like that. So for me, it's like, no, we don't want. Of course, we're not saying, hoorah, go out there and
Yeah.
fight. Like I'm all for women peace, world peace.
It's the people that always
somebody put them hands on you.
You got to sometimes. But it's the people who start the fights that always get beat up, like most of the times. Not all the times. I don't know the stats out there. It's for those of you who will unravel in the comment section with your statistics.
There's lessons to be learned in everything. Even in ass whooping.
Yeah, I learned a lot when I got beat up. I learned a lot when I bombed on stage. I learned a lot when I took the L. Like that, there's a lesson in the L, more in
the L than the win.
because the win just inflates the ego, but the loss makes you say, maybe my right hook ain't that strong.
Right.
You know
And
what
maybe
mean?
I should not play with people
Yeah.
that I'm not really familiar with in that area.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you won your fight.
Thanks.
Speaking of fight or flight, oh, 7-foot marshmallow man. Would you fight him?
No, I want to hug him.
Oh,
And then I maybe want to take a bite out of him.
I know. Eat
You
him.
know? Where's he at?
I know.
He might be my husband.
Oh my goodness. That is so funny. What would you say to your favorite teacher?
Oh, my favorite teacher, if I can remember who was my favorite teacher. Let's think about this. Mrs. Kondo, 4th grade. Oh my God, I've actually been looking for you. I don't know if you'll ever see this. But if you do, just know that I love you and that when I was struggling in 4th grade, first of all, I was in high honors classes. And then I started acting really bad just because of familial stuff and my trauma and my wounds and all the things. But like, thank you for just being a person who held space for me, who allowed me to, you know, just grow. And you didn't make me feel bad for where I was. You just allowed me to feel comfortable as a kid. And I had someone that I could talk to outside of home because home didn't feel so safe. So I appreciate you always.
Oh, I love that. I love this is my favorite segment of the show because when people come and start talking about their teachers, they glow, they open up. I don't think teachers get enough credit. We hear about the bad ones. We hear about the ones that want to date the kids. But there's a lot of good teachers out there that really show up for the children. And I know I'm better for Sylvia role. Like that will always be the queen.
Yeah.
So I really love to hear that. What's exciting for you coming up? What you got coming up?
Oh, okay. So I just got, I don't know if I should announce this or not, but I'm supposed to be, I don't know yet. We're in the works of me doing a play.
Okay.
And it will be a travel play. So
nice.
I'll be announcing that. You guys can just follow me on my Instas or socials, I guess. So that is supposed to be happening, which is great. And yeah, just more films, more
Yeah.
films. I'm starting some healthcare lines like plant supplemental, plant supplements.
Okay.
Because, you know, health has been so important for me, especially at this point in my life. I am 8 months sober at this point.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, so it's my health after losing my dad has become like the main thing. And so, yeah, just plant-based supplements, movies, and all the things. You guys can follow my socials. I think it'd be just too much to say.
So let me ask you this. You talk about sobriety. So when people think of sober people, I know when I think about sober people, we have this impression of what people who have addictions look like, right? there's always this connotation because I'm the daughter of addicts.
Okay.
And I was raised by addicts. Actually, there was so much addiction in my family. What does sobriety mean to you? Like, if you could say something to Apryl as a result of taking that time and that space to take care of yourself and saying, I'm going to get sober. What do you say? How do you congratulate yourself? How do you say, hey, good job, girl, good for taking care of yourself?
Well, I would just say good job for no longer running. You know, I think that we all have vices, and whatever those vices are, we do to run, to escape. And so I'm not in a space anymore where I'm running. Like I want to face things head on. And how alcohol was never something that was like, oh, I'm out of control with it. But I became out of control with it when I lost my dad a year ago. And I was using that to cope, to run. And so I just want to give myself credit for choosing to put that bottle down, for not running to that, and for really saying, you know what, I vow to myself to provide myself with a level of health, clarity, and just really dealing with my wounds. I think I'm tired. I'm in a space where I'm exhausted. I am tired of people. I am tired of just negativity. I want peace. I just want an environment in my life where I'm on the track, head focused. Like I'm just tired. So everything right now is just about me honing in and doing self-care for Apryl, because I have not always been so kind to myself. I am a giving person. I'm always giving to others. And at this point I have vowed to give to myself. So this is that time for me. Giving to Apryl. And so I'm proud of me for that.
I'm proud of you too. That's
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Sobriety is a beautiful thing. And yes, a lot of people have vices.
Yeah.
And we are addicted to things. And sometimes we're not even aware that these things are addictions, but they are the things that we go to run away from our pain. And be looking the way that you look, presenting the way that you do, it's inspiring to people who are watching, who are also struggling with that. So I think it's really brave of you to do that. Will you share with the audience how they can find you and how they can be in touch?
You can catch me on all my socials. It's APRYL Jones. And reach out to me if you have any questions. I try to get back to people as well, just because like I know a lot of people ask me when I do these sorts of podcasts, like for advice and stuff. So I try my best. You can try to DM me. I will do my best to respond. But yeah, those are my socials on all platforms, from Twitter to Instagram to TikTok. I think Apryl Jones Official is TikTok. Facebook, Apryl S. Jones. And yeah.
So we got time, so we're going to talk a little bit more because we want to make sure that we maximize on this opportunity that we have with you. And I like talking to people who are smart. I have a hard time talking to dumb people, which has really affected my dating life. Like, I went on a date with someone and I was just like, oh, he's not that smart, but he thinks he's really smart, and that's worse than someone. I'd rather the basic motherfucker that be like, what does that mean? I like when somebody does that. Then and I was just sitting there like, ooh. And then I came across someone who's really intelligent. And I felt aroused. And I was like, oh, okay, so this is the thing.
Yes.
How do you feel about talking to, and I don't mean romantically or anyway, but what does that mean to you to be able to have a conversation with somebody who gets you?
I will say this. I need someone to stimulate me intellectually.
Yeah.
It does something different. Like, it's not about what you can do and how much money. It's not about all of that. Although, great, that's a perk, right? Yeah. But like, the way that you stimulate my mind, that's the only way you're gonna get to these draws. I'm just gonna be fully at this point in my life. It's like
I'm about to turn into the children.
It can't be, the other stuff doesn't ruffle my feathers.
Yep.
Like, I need to be able to sit and talk to you and you don't get offended, or like I can feel free to like ask you questions and you can ask me questions and I can pick your brain. Yeah. You got to add a level of value to my life. You got to be a man of value.
That's it.
That mind is important.
Words matter, and I think people don't realize that we don't spend the most of our time eating. We don't having sex the majority of the time that we spend while we are awake is communicating.
Yeah.
And the worst thing in the world to me is a person who has difficulties with communication.
Yes.
Because I over communicate.
What's your sign?
Virgo.
Oh, Virgo rising.
Hey.
but I'm a Sagittarius.
Oh, sad.
Yes.
That's a Scorpio without the sex problem.
Wait, do I have a problem? Let me think about that.
No. I have a lot of Sages that are around.
Hi, Sag.
Just that show up. The Leos, like I'm surrounded. There's a Pisces. There's the so yes, I can't. How much do words mean to you? What do you
on my love language scale? They would be the very last.
Are they really?
Yeah.
What's your love language?
Acts of service, because I feel like acts of service kind of encompass all of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right? But I feel like at this point in my life, words sometimes don't always necessarily matter because people be full of
I know, girl. Say it to my camera too, motherfucker. She talking to you too.
But yeah, so sometimes I'm just like, man, if I look at all the things, the 5 languages or whatever, it's like, okay, acts of service. And then I do want your time. And I love physical touch. That changed because I used to be like, get off of me. Now I'm like, no, touch me. Like, and then gifts is like, I don't really care about that. I can buy my own stuff. But like, that's a nice gesture. I appreciate it nonetheless. And then your words just don't mean. I'm 37 and I just feel like the men that I've encountered, like what they say just ain't adding up. Make it make sense.
Girl, wait till you hit your 40s. It'll be like, is this sign language?
Like just be who you are, and if you're gonna say something, make it real. Let it be who you really are. I don't understand that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like so I went to trauma therapy, and so I've been out the game for 2 years, and my therapist was just released me. I feel like I just got out of prison. she's like, you can start dating now. And then I went out, and I was like, I think I want to go back inside. Just put me in a little cell with some books and give me some lobster. I take lobster over old corn dude lying in my face. But I feel like it's gotten to a point where we're hyper conscious of people's actions, right? Because people love to talk, and it's just, and not even just in dating, in work, like in revolution, like people call themselves activists, and you're like, that activist, like that means action, like it's not just on the internet yelling at the screen. It's really like showing up. Are you at the marches? So for me, I think you just influenced me. I think I just changed my love language, number one, from quality time to acts of service, because I do think that acts of service encompasses all of it.
It does.
And I appreciate a man who can change the oil in my car.
Me too. The small things.
Yeah, those little things.
Yeah, it's the small things for me that matter.
I like masculine men too. So for me,
I like all men.
Good for you. Good for you.
I mean, I don't know.
You got a better shot than I do then. I think it's because I grew up so Puerto Rican, and I'm working on my toxic masculinity internet, because y'all love to tell me that I'm toxic. But I appreciate all people. I want to thank you so much for being here and sharing your time with us.
This was fun. This isn't long enough, by the way.
No,
y'all need to increase this to 45 good minutes.
I love it. You know what? We've been saying that, but I think that I think it'll get longer. This is our second season. Okay. But people just love the attention span of the average person is so short.
This is fun.
Getting out. This is fun. It's refreshing, and thank you. I'm having a good time too, because I've been sitting here across some people and be like, girl, what time is it? Tell me, Vanessa, it's over. Tell me it's over.
I said it.
I want to say thank you to you for listening, watching, being a part of the community, the village. You have been showing up for the first season. And I just want to say thank you. Now that we are here at Large, we're so happy to be a part of this community. We want to invite you to follow us on social media at SWYM Pod on all social media platforms. If you are listening, please hit the subscribe button if you're on Spotify or Apple. If you are watching, please hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to give us your rating and your review. And we will see you next time on Say What You Mean.